What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and today we're going to be continuing my State of the Collection series. We're going to be focusing on my dive watches. You know, dive watches hold a special place in my heart because the first watch I really bought myself with my own money in adulthood was a dive watch, and I've loved them ever since. The truth is, though, dive watches are like the most prevalent type of watch out there, right? Everyone makes a dive watch, and you see them all the time. So I happen to be super duper picky about which dive watches I actually personally want to own, but I still think I have some pretty cool ones in my collection, if I do say so myself. So let's go ahead and take a look. So today's installment of my State of the Collection series is brought to you by TikTokWatchRepairs.com. The founder of TikTok Watch Repairs is actually the senior watchmaker at the Time Teller shop, so we really appreciate their support on all ends, from Timex to Rolex and everything in between. They'll service your watch, they'll repair your watch, and they'll take care of you. Just mention the Time Teller sent you. So without further ado, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the bell icon because it helps us out a lot, and let's take a look at some dive watches. It's 10:53 a.m. Let's get down to business. That's right, you knew you would see this face. The Seiko SKX 007. This is the first real watch I bought myself, and it kind of sparked my adult watch collecting career because when I acquired this watch, something clicked in my head. I kind of had a realization, oh my gosh, I can get a real, durable, automatic watch without having to break the bank. And it was all downhill from there, right? Because then I just became truly addicted to watch collecting. So here's the thing, when people ask me how to start watch collecting, I just tell them, don't start. But since you're watching this episode, chances are you're just as addicted as myself, so we're all in this together. The Seiko SKX 007, 200 meter water resistance rating, threaded crown, ISO rated case, incredible lume, day-date complication, really nice bezel with very positive ratcheting. Listen, is it the most technologically advanced wristwatch out there? Absolutely not. There's no hacking or hand wind. I can live without those two features, but it does everything I need it to do and more. And yeah, it's so versatile. I understand it's a dive watch, but it looks so good on a multitude of straps. I've had this on different kinds of bracelets. I've had this on NATO straps, on leather straps. I know, forbidden. You can't wear a dive watch on a leather strap, apparently. I do it anyway. I make my own rules. Right now, it's on a sailcloth strap. This looks a whole lot like the Barton sailcloth strap, but it's not. I have these at the Time Teller shop, or at the Amazon shop, I should say. I got this a year ago, I think, and it's looking pretty good. It looks very nice on this watch, and again, this is kind of my tough daily watch, and sailcloth strap kind of brings out the nautical side. I don't always want bracelets on my sports watches, and so it's nice to have a watch like this that looks good on a multitude of straps. But man, I still remember what it feels like, or what it felt like, I should say, to take this out of the box and kind of, I don't know, just admire it. This is my first adult watch. And yeah, I remember what it was like to resize that Jubilee bracelet and show it to my parents. And again, my dad was the one that got me into watch collecting in the first place. So it was fun to show him the watch I got myself, and he was interested in it. And I don't know, I have a lot of memories with this watch. So Seiko SKX 007 definitely had to kick off my dive watch episode for the State of the Collection Part 2. All right, moving on. Check it out, another Seiko diver in my collection, my beautifully unique Seiko Baby Tuna SRP 641. I absolutely love this watch. The first time I ever saw one, it's such an eye catcher. I was like, yo, I need to have this. I love the matte black coating and how those gold tones just kind of pop against it. Very nice contrasting. I love the applied indexes, big, bold, a ton of Lumibrite lume, and again, those gold borders just really catch the light and play nicely. And although it does have this large metal shroud, it lays so flat on the wrist that it's not cumbersome at all. And check it out, drilled lugs. Changing straps is a breeze. Right now, it is on a Barton canvas strap. Shout out to Barton, thank you for giving me this strap. Man, do I love this watch. So it has, you know, that day-date complication, very similar to the Seiko SKX. It does have that 4 o'clock crown, very similar to the SKX. It's a Seiko diver, just like the SKX, right? But let me show you a magic trick. I'm gonna go ahead and unthread this crown, pull it out all the way, and the second hand has stopped. That's because this is a definite upgrade when it comes to comparing it to the Seiko SKX, because this SRP 641 utilizes a 4R36 movement, which has hacking and hand wind. The Seiko SKX uses a 7S26 movement, which is a great movement. It's better than most people give it credit for, but again, no hacking or hand wind. So this, if you're looking for a technical upgrade when it comes to the Seiko SKX, check out the Baby Tuna series. Unfortunately, now the SRP 641 has gone up in price drastically, but this is such a nice watch. And Connie actually got it for me for Hanukkah a long time ago. So yeah, there's a theme here, guys. A lot of my favorite watches Connie's actually gotten me because she pays attention to the watches I obsess over. So yeah, there's a reason I keep her around. I'm just kidding. I love her. But yeah, this was an amazing gift from Connie. One of my favorite parts is this bezel. Very smooth, silky smooth feeling bezel, but it still has that added confidence of very positive ratcheting. Very, 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 very nice feeling. And then I love the design of it. So I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but the bezel is kind of stepped, slanted cut, and it just kind of slopes into that flat crystal. And this is in stark contrast to the next watch I'm going to show you. So keep that in mind. A sloped, slanted cut on the bezel, moving into a very flat crystal. Remember that, remember that. All right, let's move on to the next watch. That's right, the one, the only, the Big Tuna SBBN 031. Look at all that reflection going on here on the crystal and on the bezel. And that's kind of what I was just comparing to the Baby Tuna. So the Baby Tuna has this nice slanted cut bezel that goes into this flat crystal. This is the exact opposite. This has a flat bezel with a huge double domed Hardlex crystal, and it's very difficult to get a good picture of this watch without there being a ton of flecto going on, but that's actually my favorite part about this watch. I'm a little bit crazy in that sense. I love that double domed crystal and how it picks up the light. It looks so cool, so nautical, looks like a porthole on some technologically advanced submarine. It just looks really, really cool. I love this watch, and everybody made fun of me when I got it and I unboxed it on this channel. I think I titled the episode Unboxing the Best Dive Watch in the World, and I was ecstatic. I was super excited. I love this watch. Ever since I learned about watches, I've wanted an OG Seiko Tuna, but they've always been out of reach. And so when I got to that point and I could actually get one for myself, I did it, and I was very excited. And yeah, people didn't like that I was actually passionate about a watch, I guess. But anyway, beautiful, beautiful watch. Of course, very, very Seiko sports watchy with that 4 o'clock crown. I love it. Day-date complication. I set it so that it has the kanji date. I think it just looks really unique. Huge, big, broad, bold hands. Again, that 7C46 quartz movement, high torque. They developed that movement in order to move these huge, robust, sturdy hands. This watch was made for saturation divers, guys that spend a lot of time not just messing around, having fun looking at fish, dudes that are working underwater for long periods of time in very harsh elements. That's what they designed this watch for, and that's what they developed, that 7C46 movement. And yeah, is it kind of overkill for what I do, just putting around Los Angeles? Probably, but I wanted this watch and I wanted it with that 7C46 movement, and I'm so happy I have it. 300 meter water resistance rating, so that's something that sets this apart from the more inexpensive Seiko divers. This has an extra 100 meters of water resistance. Of course, you know, I'm not going to need that much, but it's beautiful. A ton of Seiko Lumibright lume on the pip here and on the indexes and on those huge hands. Very, very beautifully silky smooth threaded crown. That's another thing that sets it apart from some of the other divers. My Seiko SKX doesn't have the smoothest crown. The Baby Tuna absolutely does. Has a very nice silky smooth crown. This, even that much better. Just beautiful. I love the non-coated shroud. Again, I love the bare metal here. Don't get me wrong, I love that this has that beautiful matte black coating, but something about this, just the raw metal here, just looks that much more industrial. You can see the screws going in the shroud here. Everything about this watch is amazing. Very, very nice bracelet. This is titanium and stainless steel, so it's not all that hefty. It is a lot of material, but on your wrist, it's not crazy. Another really cool thing is the diver's extension here. It ratchets. So if you are going to wear this over a wetsuit or a dry suit or even a jacket, you can do so. And again, drilled lugs. So you can put this on a bunch of straps. I actually used to wear this on this surplus strap, this 22mm surplus strap, and it looked really cool. I might do that again. But right now, I'm rocking it on the bracelet. Absolutely love this watch. It's a beast. It's a behemoth. It is tough as nails. It is the pinnacle of dive watch technology, period. And guys, I hope you don't mind, out of left field, my Omega Seamaster. That's right, I didn't really know where to put this watch in my State of the Collection series, so I'm putting it with my divers, because guess what? When this was developed, it was developed as a sports watch through and through. Seamaster. It has the ocean in the name, and am I gonna go diving in this Omega Seamaster? Absolutely not. But I thought it'd be a fun kind of, I don't know, little wild card for this episode. I love this. I love the integrated bracelet, incredibly comfortable. And this is such a nice example of one of these Omega Seamaster 1020s. Just a gorgeous day-date complication. I love how the crystal kind of just pops, boop. Such a silky smooth transition from that bracelet into the case, and then the crystal just, boop. So 70s. I don't know, something about this design just screams 1970s. I love this watch so much. And guys, check it out. This may be a very, very vintage Omega Seamaster, but they didn't skimp out on the details. You can check out this Omega insignia on the crystal of this watch. How cool is that? When I bought this watch, I didn't know that was there. And when I put my macro lens on it and I was kind of looking at it, I was just blown away. I can't believe they were doing this back then. And this is a pristine example of one of these vintage Omegas. And look at that secondhand sweep. But yeah, that Omega insignia there, just a beautiful thing to see. And again, details, baby, details. So is this Omega Seamaster a dive watch by today's standards? Maybe not. But I'm putting it in this episode because I love it. It is a sports watch and it is a Seamaster, and this is my State of the Collection series, so I'm gonna do what I want. But I love this watch so much, and I know a lot of you guys really like it because every time I wear it in an episode, every time I mention it, you guys are like, what's the reference number? What's the reference number? Well, here's the deal with this watch, guys. I love it. I want you guys to be able to find them in good condition. But I want you guys to be very careful when you're buying a 1020 movement from Omega, okay? It's a very finicky movement. So if you're finding one, make sure it has some sort of service history, make sure it's in good condition, and yeah, it can be a headache. Again, this is in very good condition. It's been taken care of, and I'm not worried about it, but the 1020 movement can be a little bit finicky. And so I've said that before, and I'm going to say it again. Beautiful watch, beautifully smooth movement, but it's just, yeah, a little bit quirky, and it pertains to the day-date complications. So just be careful, and I know that you love this watch, but be smart, do your homework, and make sure that you ask questions before you buy it. And moving on to a watch that I think many of my newer viewers will be surprised I even own, because I think the last time I had this thing on camera was like 2 years ago, but this used to be my go-to everyday watch, and you can see it did get a lot of everyday wear. This is my Panerai PAM 001 Luminor Marina. This, I think, is kind of a snapshot from when Panerai was actually on top. I think Panerai has recently been slipping a little bit, but this is from, you know, one of their final eras of being a really, really great watchmaker. So let's talk a little bit more about this watch. This Panerai PAM Luminor Marina is an F serial. Now the E serial, F serial, and G serial number Panerais were made from 2002 to 2005. And this has that beautiful OPX movement, 17 jewel, 50-hour power reserve, and it is obviously a hand wind movement. It's based off of an ETA 6497. Now, when I first released this, an episode on this watch, people were like, "Oh, you didn't get one with their in-house movement. Oh, you didn't get one with their in-house movement." Okay, which one do you have? Exactly, that's what I'm saying. This is a beautiful watch by Panerai. Now, let's talk a tiny bit more about this movement. I'll bring you up close and I'll kind of give you some insight as to where Panerai truly started slipping up. All right, so let us admire this beautifully decorated hand wind movement. You know what sets the F serial numbers apart from other Panerai is that after this era, they stopped engraving and decorating their movements, and boy did we see a spike in counterfeit activity after that point. Because guys, let's face it, the less detailing you put in your watches, the easier it is for counterfeiters to kind of replicate that design, right? So what ended up happening is we saw a huge spike in counterfeit activity, and Panerai handled it terribly. Okay, they handled it way worse than Rolex even. And I have a little bit of an anecdotal story from a close friend that had a very bad run-in with a counterfeit Panerai. I'm going to talk about it in another episode, but essentially even Panerai didn't realize it was counterfeit until it was a bit too late. But we'll talk about that in another episode. Let's just admire the beauty of this scuffed up Luminor Marina. I love this watch, man. I should wear it more. But yeah, guys, for those of you asking, I still do own it. I still do love it, and it's a great dive watch. And another wild Rolex has appeared. That's right. This is the second Rolex to make an appearance in my State of the Collection series. My beautiful Rolex Submariner 16800. This is from the mid-80s, and I love it because it does have a sapphire crystal, although the sapphire has seen some knocks throughout the years, but it has aged just beautifully. Look at that custard patina with that matte black dial and that pip that just looks like a healthy egg custard. It is just a gorgeous watch. Trip lock crown, pretty much everything you could ever want from a quintessential dive watch. I'll bring you up close and we can kind of admire it further. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautifully aged tritium. Of course, it's not terribly functional because it doesn't glow anymore, but I'll take that trade-off. Who cares? It's an old Submariner. You don't need it to glow, you just need it to look awesome. And this watch totally does. At least I like it. Every time I show this watch off on camera, people are like, "Oh, your Submariner is ugly. My Invicta Pro Diver looks better." Well, guess what? I actually compared this watch to an Invicta Pro Diver. Click right up here and watch that episode, and you'll see exactly why my old Submariner kicks the crud out of the Invicta Pro Diver. But I do totally understand that this is not everyone's cup of tea, and by today's standards, the Rolex Submariner design is not terribly unique. Pretty much this is like the archetype of a dive watch, and every other dive watch looks exactly like it because they want to do what works, path of least resistance, right? So if you're looking for a truly unique dive watch, probably don't go for a Submariner, maybe go for a Seiko Tuna. But guys, as I'm sure you can tell, this is a very important piece in my collection because this is one of the first watches I remember being like, wow, I want one of these. I really want one of these. And so to finally have one, it's very cool, and it's a very, I don't know, nostalgic feeling, if you will. Sorry, I hurt my thumb. Anyway, beautiful watch, and yeah, definitely deserves to be in my State of the Collection Dive Watch Edition. So there you have it, guys. All the dive watches I currently own. The year is 2020, so I'm sure that, you know, the number will grow as I find another dive watch I might be interested in. Maybe a spring drive tuna. But please, leave me a comment. Which watch was your favorite? Which was your least favorite? And which one do you think I should pick up next? So yeah, guys, I hope you're enjoying the series. Don't worry, there's still a few more installments left to go. I'm having a blast filming these episodes, gathering all my watches, seeing them together. It just brings back so many memories when the kids are all there together. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel and watching the content. Thank you for subscribing. Special thanks to my channel members. Guys, I can't make this content without your monthly support, so special thanks to you. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with everyone who'd be interested in seeing some pretty cool divers. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.